No, but so it's Lloyd and that's it for you. No, of course not. Why would we want to be so bored? I have my own. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessica Fraser, and this morning I looked at the program and I saw MC and I thought, what does that stand for? Mad cow, mega chocolate. I thought, oh no, I have to be master of ceremonies. But I think I'll change it to master of containers. So, bunch of people, if you're on the program, I'm going to treat you like a container today. Because if you go past your allotted time, we have a virtual audience and we have a physical audience, and we have twin ports in Port Elizabeth. So we will charge you double the demurrage fee. So good morning, everyone. Physical audience and Zoom audience. Thank you for everyone joining us all the way from Saldanha, Cape Town. We have Durban and all the way up to Richards Bay, and not forgetting East London, of course. If you are confused as to where you are, if you're an international audience participant and you have no idea what Tobeja is, you can still Google Port Elizabeth. And if the coordinates come up for 33.9608 south degrees south and 25.6022 degrees east, you will know that you have actually found the right location. But in case you are on your way here to visit us for the dolphins and the elephants, and you accidentally end up in Cape Town, it's not a problem, because you can actually just follow the fish. The sardines are on the way here. So without further ado, let's start our program. We're going to have a 10-minute video. For those of you who don't appreciate the fact that this program and getting to this point has actually taken a lot of input, a lot of work behind the scenes, and we would like to just give you a little bit of insight as to where and how we got here. So I'm going to hand over to my IT guy, and we're going to quickly watch the 10-minute video.
For me, to be in this industry is very, very important, given the history that previously people like me wouldn't be part of it. It's a new industry. We are role models. We are some of the first people that joined the industry, and it opens the world, because if you are in this industry, you can travel the world, you can work with international people, you can develop new skills like we're doing now in the ports, where we are helping youngsters to join the industry, small businesses, to get involved in the maritime space. So it's a very exciting time for all of us. Especially, I was very grateful that I was part of this new port when the port started and it is currently operating. What is interesting to me is mostly the research program, because this industry, there's still a lot of development, especially in our continent, and especially, for example, in our country. In particular, if you look at our ports, there is a lot of other businesses and skills that our people haven't done. So we need to do this research, package them in a way that is suitable for our regions. I can make, for example, here we have bunkering that's happening outside. There is a lot of studies and things that are being done, but I believe a detailed research on the opportunities and actually in the operationalization of this business need to be done. So the research will be a big thing, because you need to package it into a way that local people can be able to benefit. Okay, firstly, in terms of the rankings and the poor reflection on the performance of our ports, you might be aware that Transnet, or TNPA in particular, is going through a big change in terms of leadership, in terms of focus, in terms of strategy, where they're bringing and refocusing and training people to make sure that we become one of the best ports in the world. In terms of the skills, there are a lot of skills that are identified in terms of in the maritime space. We are training pilots every year, maritime pilots. We're training helicopter pilots every year. These using helicopters helps us be able to get our pilots out to the ships as soon as possible. We're procuring helicopters for ports like Cape Town, Durban, Richards Bay. So that will also assist us. And there is a lot of investment in terms of equipment at the terminals to improve the ship working hour. So that means the amount of containers that we can be able to load and discharge on the ships per hour.
The shipping industry is very interesting. It's one that brings different challenges. At different days you'll have different challenges, and it can get frustrating at times, especially for where we are. We get a lot of weather challenges and all that, but in terms of the actual work, it's the interesting part is that not every ship is the same. Each one will come with different dynamics, different challenges, pose the different problems for you to solve and try and get that ship in and out as fast as possible. So it's definitely an interesting environment and an exciting environment. And then in the context of the country, it's obviously big for the economy of the country, seeing that Transnet is basically the entry and exit point into the country for importing, exporting, and one of our major functions, which is transshipping. So it's definitely a key element to the South African economy.
See with our kayaks.
Who's the
Dr. Tandi Ngwebi, the Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University, Nelson Mandela, for research and engagement. Can you have her online?
she's online?
Okay, can you hand over?
She's ready. She was just sharing screen and mute her.
Okay, as soon as we share our screen, then I will officially.
There she is.
Okay, good morning, Dr. Tandi. It's all yours. I'm going to take my seat.
Morning, good morning, good morning. Let me share from my side because I've made a little bit of a change from what I've sent. Let me just. Okay, good morning, colleagues. Hope everyone is doing well this morning. I'm not going to be too long. I was asked to share the ocean sciences strategy of the university. So I'm just going to look at the highlights. And I'm very excited about the launch of this program because it's just one of the vehicles that the university is looking for not just for capacity building, but for new skills and also for building a cadre of emerging researchers and emerging academics and emerging pool of people that can serve in industry. And we're hoping that people in the program will be able to straddle both between industry and academia, because in academia, we also need these kind of skills. Let me see, oh, there you go. So I'm just going to speak briefly at a high level about the university's strategic trajectories and the strategic themes of the university. And you can see how they align with this program. And then I'm going to speak to the context informing the ocean sciences strategy of Nelson Mandela University, and then our ocean sciences capabilities. Firstly, with the research themes and trajectories at the university, we've got big strategic trajectories that will propel the university into the future, that we see these as big game changers for higher education and for a university of service to society, for making impact in the societies that we serve and the societies that we live in. You are all aware we've launched a new medical school with the second intake this year. And the ocean sciences is one of our biggest strengths at the university. In fact, we are the only university, I believe, in the continent with a dedicated ocean sciences campus. And then the third one is about the revitalization of the humanities and fostering transdisciplinarity. This is very important because most of the challenges in the world require humanities, be it natural science, medical science, humanities themselves, and social sciences. So we are on a drive at the university to revitalize our humanities capabilities and skills, and also to foster transdisciplinarity, because we believe that systems science and systems approaches are vital for tackling global challenges. And then the last one of our strategic trajectories is expansion. In fact, I guess strengthening of our footprint in the African continent. Our partnerships within the continent are very vital because they will inform our approaches to solving local challenges. Then to the 6 institutional research themes, oceans and coastal sciences or marine sciences is one of the big themes, social justice and democracy, environmental stewardship and sustainable livelihoods, innovation, the digital economy, origins, culture, heritage and memory, and humanizing pedagogies. These are the institutional themes, but you will find as you navigate our faculties that there are faculty themes that will be linking into these 6 research themes. Of course, this program is quite important because it will touch on, I guess, many of these themes in so many ways. And you, if you're a student or you a lecturer or professor within the program, you would appreciate how it touches on the different aspects of the 6 institutional research themes. So our approach to our ocean sciences strategy is the global to local. So we locally enabled, but globally relevant. By saying that, I would like to quote the biggest frame that we have in the world right now, which is the unifying goals the Sustainable Development Goals. In a divided world, we at least have some unifying agenda of the Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 development goals. I'm not going to bore you by repeating all of them. And the ocean sciences touches on almost all of these, but more specifically on life below water, which is SDG 14. But you will notice that all of these goals are interrelated. We can't have life below water without communities. So we would have to think about ending poverty, because the food security around the oceans, for example. And you cannot have life below water if you do not have the proper skills. So quality education becomes important, and it links to the life below water. And so on, and climate action. So climate change and the oceans are quite interrelated. So all of these goals are interrelated. And the second agenda that we align with is the Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. There are many alignments of this agenda with the Sustainable Development Goals, and it's got a number of aspirations in the continent. There are a number of programs that speak to this. The continent itself is surrounded by vast amounts of ocean, and there's lots of opportunities that exist with that geographic location. And we also have the integrated 2050 Africa's integrated maritime strategy. This strategy provides a very good and broad framework for the protection and sustainable exploitation of integrated African maritime sector domain for wealth creation in the African continent. So the advantage here is the opportunity that is provided by this, because the 54 African states and within these African states, 38 have a coastline, and these are the opportunities presented to us. We also locally, we've got the National Development Plan, and then it aligns with the Africa Agenda, with the SDG 2030. And within South Africa, we've got Operation Phakisa. Oh, sorry. Operation Phakisa with 6 main themes, which offer us an opportunity to make a difference and to tap into these opportunities. The opportunities mostly come with funding, and it also comes with partnership modalities. So we aim to become a driver for most of these 6 themes in Operation Phakisa. Opportunities for entrepreneurship and transdisciplinary research in many of the themes: agriculture, oceans economy, tourism, automotive industry, and so on. And within the university, we've got a couple of capabilities. I can't mention all of them, from across all our 7 faculties. So I do believe, Professor Hendrik Lloyd, that the program will also tap into opportunities that are available from other faculties as well, to foster inter and transdisciplinary training and exposure of students into different knowledge domains. So transdisciplinary postgraduate research and innovation becomes important. One of the themes there being where art meets science. For example, if you've got the arts and the humanities meeting the sciences. And then one of the other core themes is sustainability. Sustainability is very broad. The university is quite well known for sustainability science, and the coastal side of sustainability science aligns directly with the program, and it offers opportunities for studies in coastal livelihoods, economic development, and marine protection. And then quadruple helix and collaborative partnerships. This is when the academia, industry, communities they come together, and business. And we're hoping that within the ocean sciences platforms that we're creating at the university, this will become live and lively. We already have programs that offer this kind of integration, and we're hoping the studies in maritime management will also become a vehicle. And also, we are the leading ocean sciences university on the on the African continent. And I would like to believe one of the leading universities in the world, actually. I will show you later our rankings within this domain. So we want to scale up ocean sciences qualifications and research, and this is directly related to the program today. The Ocean Sciences Campus Governance and Management Model, we've moved forward, and we are in the process of recruiting for a head of ocean sciences, an intellectual head, and the campus special plan and phased infrastructure development. There's a lot of work happening within the campus. Partnerships and revenue mobilization, we're on a drive to extend our partnerships and to strengthen existing partnerships with a big drive for resource mobilization. Some of you may have joined us 2 days ago when we had the Vice Chancellor's fireside chat with a lot of funders, the International Social Science Impact Institute hosting us. And this is just but one of the activities aimed at resource mobilization and partnership creation. I'm just showing you what you may already know, the only dedicated ocean sciences campus in South Africa. And if you don't, please do visit us. You're welcome to come to the campus. So in summary, within the ocean sciences domain, knowledge domain of the university, these are the specialities that we have: ocean cultures and heritage. We've got a chair there, research chair, tier 1 research chair, ocean governance and law of the seas in Africa. We've got a research chair in the Faculty of Law, marine spatial planning. We've got a chair in the Faculty of Science, and these are all in our Center for Marine Research. Marine engineering, robotics, and innovative technologies in partnership with the Faculty of Engineering. Oceanography and marine food security, we've got a SACHI chair, which is a bilateral chair with the UK. Oceans and climate, marine biodiversity, shallow water ecosystems and estuaries, maritime studies and management. So we've got quite a diverse group of researchers within oceans and marine sciences with really, really high level skills that are available within the university and quite internationally reputable. We've got our Institute of Coastal and Marine Research, CMR, and this is a highly regarded institute within the university and outside of the university. And all of these research chairs that I've spoke about earlier are housed within a CMR, and the CMR has got a number of units: Marine Apex Predator Research Unit, the Research Diving Unit, not operation at the moment, but there are conversations to revive it. And the uniqueness of CMR is faculty membership, that all the faculties do participate in making CMR a truly inter and transdisciplinary location within the university. And then we've got stakeholders and partners that support us that we're very grateful for, including our Nelson Mandela Bay Maritime Cluster. And we're very, very grateful about the association of the university with Nelson Mandela Bay, because it just provides an important vehicle for impact within a community where we are located. And I had promised you that I'm just going to show you our strengths in a number of areas. In 2021, the university entered for the first time in Times Higher Education Impact Rankings. And these impact rankings are the closest we have in the globe at the moment to assessing the impact of the university to local challenges. And we had chosen to we select a couple of SDGs, and we had chosen to only do 4 SDGs: life below water, life on land, good health and well-being, and partnerships for the SDGs. And I'm happy to say that out of the South African universities, we were the first for life below water. We were 40 internationally out of 379 institutions. So this just shows the stature of our contribution and our capabilities in oceans and marine research. And we did the same this in 2021 for 2022 results. But in this case, we added another SDG, SDG 13, which is climate action. As you'll recall when I introduced this, that these are quite interrelated. We performed well. It was a stellar performance for the university, well above the expectations. And we still, I'm happy to say that we still ranked #1 in South Africa for life below water for these SDGs. And notably, our partnerships for the SDGs are improving. And the new developments within the university, just to strengthen our ocean sciences capabilities, we are rebuilding and we are building. New opportunities are coming to the fore. We are now in the process of building a Mandela Institute for Sustainable Futures. And one of the core themes of the Sustainable Futures Institute is ocean sciences and the blue economy. And we hope that this will just foster more transdisciplinary approaches within the university. And this slide just summarizes our strategy and our approach to the Mandela Institute for Transdisciplinary Studies. This is all I have to share with you, Program Director and colleagues, and I hope that we can get more interaction going after this. Our doors are always open, and I'm happy if you'd like to contact me or any of my colleagues. Thank you very much.
We're running a very tight ship today and everyone is on schedule. Can we go work for Transnet? Make things better. Go back better. My partner in crime, Dr. Nomta Ali, newly minted PhD graduate. Thank you so much, Dr. Tandi. We owe you a gift. But you have to physically arrive here before we deliver. You know, we're cutting down on carbon footprint, no courier services, nothing.
I'll come and collect it.
All to you, thanks. Once again,
good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I've got the softest voice in the business school, I'd like to believe. As Dr. Fraser mentioned, my name is Nomta Hadi. I am with the business school since 2016. It feels like yesterday. And my purpose for this lunch is just to take you through our journey over the years, and obviously the milestone that we are celebrating with you all this morning. So just as a start, I had to check what Dr. Gwebu was covering, and I just want to give our guests, specifically our international partners and those that are virtually, just a synopsis of our institution. Yes, we pride ourselves by being the only university that carries Nelson Mandela's name. And as you can see there, we are in 2022. I will not highlight the previous stats. We definitely will share our presentations. But in 2022, we're sitting at an estimation of over 31,747 students within the institution. And if we were to now slice that in terms of geographical location, you will see that those from within Gqeberha, or what's known as Nelson Mandela Bay, they take 21% of that. Our other provinces within South Africa, we have more or less just below 12,000 students. Sadly, our international numbers is sitting at 852, which is 3% of the biggest slice. And with our triple M qualification, like we've been doing with the MBA, PDBA, and I'm certain all other schools in the faculty and within the institution, we would like to attract and have more international students. We do have our international office here today, so they also are really helping us in terms of marketing and also promoting safety and ease of registration for our international applicants. So that's just our university in a brief. In terms of our business school, I once again would not do justice by diving into the program and not giving the context. I'll just focus on the graduate school programs. You'll note there that we've got this new baby that we're launching. We are enrolling, applications are open, and we also have other programs. Our initial thoughts, or I'd like to believe, Prof. Lloyd, just before I joined NMU in 2016, we would have wanted a specialized master in business administration, focusing either on maritime transport or ports and shipping management. But our CHE regulations and policies does not allow that. Hence, you will note that we're sitting with this wonderful acronym that we term triple M. So that's where we fit in within the greater business school. You'll note that our flagship programs, Triple M will soon become one of those. In terms of the numbers that I shared earlier on, in terms of the university enrollments, you will note that for 2021 MBA, we had 253 students, PDBA 54, and our doctoral qualification 15, just taking us to just about 322. So with Triple M, we're not targeting large classes, but we're just hoping we'll stay within the 400 range when it comes to our business school enrollments. And then the Triple M journey, as I've mentioned, excuse the bias, 2016 was when I started. There was lots of work, obviously, that was done prior to that. I believe when Dr. Fraser takes me through some of the history, she does mention that she, coming from a logistic and supply chain background, she couldn't go ahead or forge ahead solely in terms of getting this qualification off the ground. And she urged the university, in aligning with their ocean science strategy and vision, to get an extra person that will focus specifically on maritime management with a business focus. So I joined in 2016, and that's where I want to highlight the internal institutional processes. And soon, when I joined, you would recall when we started knocking on most of our stakeholders, I might not highlight all the engagements and milestones that happened, but key when we joined in 2016, when I joined, was a session we had with Transnet. I'd recall then they had a question mark around the Maritime Academy that's sitting up in Durban. So there was a question mark around its sustainability, viability, and its future. And they were like vouching for us to say, please, your qualification will help industry, not only from a transport perspective, there are other shipping agents, other activities within the maritime value chain. And when we had those discussions, it just gave us a springboard, and we continue obviously with the work at hand. Very key to 2016, you'll note the picture there is myself. I was then requested to join Transnet. Two other colleagues there was the one who leads the Maritime Academy in Durban, and one of the port managers. She is in our midst today. We joined Shanghai Maritime University in 2016, just to get an understanding of also what type of programs they offer, and also just hopefully to steal some traffic from them, but we'll work on that going into the future. 2017, we then had a survey that we piloted with our local and international partners, just to get an appetite and understand the exact need for this qualification. Once again, like I mentioned, our ocean sciences vision, that is when it was fast-tracked, and obviously lots of milestones and reporting that we had to fit into coming into today. And then 2018, why I want to highlight that, because I was under the impression that when we start the program and we submit our forms to CHE, 3 minutes or 3 hour, 3 month turnaround, they would respond and give us feedback. But obviously, we do acknowledge that there are various processes, due diligence that needed to happen. So early in 2018 was our qualification formally registered, and we obviously had to once again go through some of their internal processes. 2019, we hosted an SA Maritime Cluster workshop that was quite interesting for us, because it's not only focusing on Nelson Mandela Bay, we hosted all the clusters, eThekwini, Cape Town cluster, etc. And also, just to highlight from 2019, we obviously were piloting some of our MBA students on the program Research Opportunities Collaboration. So we sent 2 MBA students to Norway and Shanghai then. 2020, CHE then confirmed that our qualification is fully registered. COVID also happened. We had to move online, and there, why I also highlight the online partnerships, there were also a simulation that we ran with the Department of Development Studies. They have emerged. So in terms of innovation and promoting the use of technology within our qualification, that was something quite interesting for us. Fast forward to 2022, this 8 conference presentations obviously happened throughout our trajectory, but this is where we've been getting insights, collaborating. That's where we've found most of the lectures that will be presented on our program. So that's just the timeline and how we have achieved or arrived to where we are today. I will not highlight all our presenters and our lecturers, but you can see there that I don't want to say it's a female crew, but you can see our presenters there. We've just had obviously the business school, which has been very supportive and very key in terms of the advances. We're looking forward obviously to having more engagements in a fuller classroom going forward. I don't want to bore you with some of the details that Dr. Mgwebi has covered, but we do believe in a knowledge for a sustainable future. And with this program, we obviously want to recognize and enhance our maritime related research and success stories, both from a business perspective, research, and also from an impactful perspective. And we want to expand the qualifications and management competencies. Hence, we once again are continuously collaborating and going out to industry and our partners to ensure that this is not only a research, but an impactful and a sustainable approach. And we'll continue to serve and change the narrative. So thank you so much. And that's it from us.
Thank you very much, Dr. We prefer the term gender neutral. If you want to comment on the fact that we have an all female crew, and the technical people, the captains of the industry sitting here will tell you that it's not about the technical skills, because just like MBA students, Triple M students can explain everything to you, from the sulfur content in the diesel to everything technical. So what they need is leadership skills, soft skills, conflict management, negotiation skills, and intercultural competence for the fact that the supply chain industry is a global industry. Our next speaker is actually from the South African International Maritime Institute, Mr. Odwa Mtati. Where are you in the room? There we go. And he will be next to tell us a little bit about a localist lekker perspective, but also what's happening on skills development from a taxpayer's money perspective.
Thank you very much, Jessica. As indicated, I work for the South African International Maritime Institute, an institute set up in 2014, launched here at the university to coordinate maritime skills development, maritime research, maritime innovation, advocacy, and that's the work that I wish to acknowledge the leadership of the university and attendance of the session and everybody who's gathered here this morning. Good morning. Without any image. I wish to thank the Faculty of Business and Economic Sciences, the dean, and the leadership of the business school for inviting Saimi to this event. We wish to commend the university for identifying the strategic leadership gap in the maritime industry and matching this need to equip industry with the skills needed to adapt and indeed master the challenges experienced in the maritime industry with this new qualification. We try to emphasize the following points: that at the center of it is the need to always match supply and demand. But the creation of qualifications should not be because it is driven by what an institution needs, but rather to meet a particular. As part of the challenge is the rejection of those that qualify on the basis that the qualifications add no value. So it is important that this qualification helps to address the market. We are encouraged by some of the presentations made here, which emphasize the fact that the academia, industry, and government need to collaborate to optimize the socio-economic opportunities challenge and to unlock the multiplier effect. Yesterday, we attended the first step in the laying out of the Ocean Master Plan as coordinated by. We're still uncertain of the relationship between operation and the Ocean Master Plan, but we are in master plan. Now, key in it is that these factors of society are all in attendance and sharing plans, which is important. So I would like to encourage those that are interested in the audience just to follow the Ocean Master process, as other sectors have done. We've seen with the automotive and many other sectors. Over the past few years has focused strongly on supporting targeted research in determining the skills requirement of the maritime industry and challenges that speak to the matching of supply and demand. So we've done quite a number of skills audits, ranging with reviewed oil and gas from 2015. We've just completed that exercise, marine manufacture this year, and many other skills audits. And we're hoping that those that develop qualifications, it will be at the back of a determined need. And those skills also perhaps constitute the basis in which we develop a further qualification. Because one of SAIM's strategic goals is to drive a competitive future ready and increasingly employed ocean sectors workforce. So it's a strategic goal for SAIM. So the development of this kind of falls within that. We also acknowledge the fact that there are quite a number of changes that are taking place within the sectors. We're talking about autonomous research, decarbonization, the use of alternative energies. And unless you develop the skills to match those, you will find that people are qualified and they are overtaken. So it is important that we constantly review the qualifications that we have in order to meet those demands that society faces. So we are promoting these centers of excellence, and we know that the business school is but one of those, but we do so across the country because our mandate is national in character. We've got an interest in the continent and the rest of the world. But remind me that we met with the representative of one of the Maritime clusters in Europe, introduced us to the University of Lisbon, enhancing us to promote their master in maritime logistics. So we're saying not only we here, but we just in the development of capacity. We always engage with the right, but our major interest is to make sure that those capabilities are within the country, and whatever it is that we extract from the rest of the world is on the basis of something unique. It can't be that we do not have some of these capabilities. So at the center of it, colleagues, is some of these increased digital advancement. We are a partner to the Marine Robotics Center established in this university, and possibly other universities. I'm sharing this to demonstrate the fact that out of that project, there are quite a number of possibilities. It is not only about the development of robotics, but there's a business element. So it is important that we don't only look into that what we think we must, but we scan the environment so that we can partner in some of these possibilities. Because the center is focused on robotics, artificial intelligence, modeling, underwater systems and ocean. But some of those have spillover effects into some of the disciplines. As SAIMI, we therefore welcome and are excited about these developments at the university, which is the host funded by the National Skills Fund, in announcing the Masters in Maritime Management that is being launched. We are a partner to the business school. We're looking at some developments to support women in maritime and hoping that within a short turnaround time we'll be able to have a particular focus in the qualifications and to support women within the sector. There's a need, a constant need for visionary leadership, which ought to be equipped with a broad understanding of the challenges and the opportunities of the ocean's economy, so that we have an understanding of what is offered by growth within the maritime sector. And we are quite excited that the business school has taken this particular path in the launch program in order for us to be able to produce the skills. But it is not only skills that we should be interested in, but the development of the sector itself. Because the development of the sector provides us with two things: opportunities for employment and opportunities for entrepreneurship. So it is, we can't be an island that keeps on developing skills without interest in the sector that we with those a few words, I hope that a few Okay, thank you.
So, my good people, some people will say, why, if the MBA is now going to be the most expensive degree at any university, fees must fall. Where do we get money to study the Masters of Maritime Management? Please speak to all. And if you have any complaints, speak to nonta.hari@mandela. Theatre is also in the room. Yes. There you go. Theatre is also a good sponsor of skills development. Moving on. By the way, you're talking about challenges and COVID-19 and pandemic and whatever. I spoke to one of my MBA students. I said, what was the most difficult one for you? Because you're an MBA student, you have to do your research. And then on top of it, you're in the fishing industry. He says, yes, it was very difficult to work from home. So we have waves of change happening. You all know that Transnet has been seriously restructuring. And we have the honor of Ms. Pamela Doyle, who's actually joining us today, the port manager of the Nelson Mandela Bay Ports. She'll explain to you why it's now the Nelson Mandela Bay Ports. So, ma'am, the floor is yours.
To the Nelson Mandela University Council members and management, the international partners, Massachusetts Maritime University, Romania University, the Ahde University in Norway, executives from SAIMI, TITA, SAMSA, NRF, and IDC, the Nelson Mandela Bay Business Chamber, South African Oil and Gas Alliance, Eastern Cape Exporters Council, Shipping and Maritime Logistics Company, our friends from media and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. You'll see in the program, it says I'll be connecting via Zoom. But truly, I was under pressure to stop everything and make sure I'm here in acknowledgement of my colleagues and my leadership that's very much passionate about our partnership with the Nelson Mandela University. My leaders, Pepe Linda and Siam Shaluka, and also my colleagues in the midst. I've got Sis Tandi. Tandi Libagang, I'm sure you've seen her here with Nomta. And I've got Captain Dubeko, who's also here with me. You've seen him in the video here earlier on. And Captain Brim. Those are my colleagues that I actually would not have, I would have disrespected their passion if I would not have made it here and connect only via the video. I have to acknowledge them. Good morning. I'm very much excited to be actually witnessing this long-standing strategic plan of developing this program within the business school that is especially focused on maritime sector and becoming a reality. Yes, I have just joined the team here in Gqeberha, effective from the 1st of March, but it feels like it's been years. Today's launching the masters in triple M, let me put it that way. I think I just had the acronym and it makes it so easy. It's important for the Nelson Mandela Bay region as we are the only, we're the only city with the twin ports, which I was actually asked to even actually just share with you as to why. Why is it Nelson Mandela Bay ports? It's because we have, through our transformation, moved to a single port complex where we have joined the port of Port Elizabeth and the port of Mukha to be a one port. As a result, it is actually managed by one management. This was more to ensure then that we actually provide a very much standard and a very much ease of doing business within the single port here. This qualification will pave the way for the development of the Nelson Mandela Bay region. We are a region that is actually the Nelson Mandela Bay ports and the East London, which is managed under the single management of regional management, and it makes life very easy when it comes to actually our partners that we do business with, our stakeholders. As our international icon has once said, which is Nelson Mandela, I quote, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, this region requires the skill set that has been shared here earlier on, that is aligned to the region's goals of growing and the investment into competitive ports and also the sustainable livelihood in the maritime sector. As outlined in our Operation Pakistan Ocean Economy, the country is currently facing a serious crisis right now, with an unemployment rate that's actually heading, it is now sitting at 35 point something, but it is really heading to 40%. And our youth unemployment is currently one of the things that are a challenge that is prevailing, and it indicates the needs to fast track the new opportunities. And these opportunities can be facilitated with education at the center of it. And so this actually becomes very relevant for that. But above all, what makes me prouder is that this actually program is spearheaded by a group of women. And you know very well, the maritime sector is a sector that has always been male dominant. It still is, but I'm happy to see the big change that actually we are actually witnessing through the NMU program at this stage. What I can actually talk to, you cannot take this achievement for granted. As Helen Gale says, I quote, "You educate a girl, you educate a nation." We are proud of seeing the female leadership of the program here at the Nelson Mandela Bay University. As we were celebrating the Africa Day 2 days ago, which is the 25th of May, this signifies the intended actually transformation that is required in the maritime sector. This launch comes at a time where Transnet National Ports Authority head office has fully relocated from Johannesburg to Gqeberha, and the port of Muga, as we have just indicated, has actually now moved to a single port complex. And Transnet is actually seeking to grow investment also in the port of East London. This therefore means the need for maritime-related qualifications in the province and the region. It is actually very critical for the success of this sector. As the TNPA and the Central Region Ports, we celebrate the launch of this qualification and are delighted to be the Nelson Mandela University's key strategic partner with the maritime, within the maritime sector. We know that this qualification is in the excellent hands, and the hands and the citizens of the Eastern Cape Province will take advantage of this actually exciting program, particularly when it comes to driving the transformation in the youth development. Today, the Nelson Mandela Bay University launched this qualification as we, TNPA, are confident that it represents a step to a brighter future for the Nelson Mandela Bay, Eastern Cape, and South Africa. I hope that the maritime, the master's program, which is the MMM, will be a great source of pride. The skills gained from the program will be used to drive educational development in a profession that is viewed as one of the scarce skills in South Africa and in Africa as a continent. Therefore, the entrepreneurship will ultimately lead to the socio-economic change for the province and the country. Nelson Mandela Bay ports are committed to actually continue partnering with the Nelson Mandela University in areas of key research that will be conducted by the MMM students with the aim of creating a sound competitive value proposition for the Nelson Mandela Bay region. The research that focuses on sustainable ports, with a key focus on environmental and port security issues, the climate change, technology and innovation, with a key focus on systems, mainstream port and maritime operations, market intelligence in the different commodity segments, that can be the conveyor to actually achieving growth in the sector, have the multiplier effect on job creation, on skills development and socio-economic development. We trust that this qualification actually will go a very long way in facilitating the entrance of the new participants and also subsequently contribute towards the transformation of the maritime sector. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And we know you have competent people, so the doors are still open. Okay? Just from our online community, if you talk about money, people start reacting. Right? So there's a question from Buffalo City, from Tabisa Siguele. The question online is, are there funding opportunities attached to this program? That is a very good question. We are in the process of negotiation. We'll make sure that we find you online, and we'll definitely advertise these things on our Mandela AC.za website. But the current opportunities that are available for all master's programs and all postgraduate programs, you can go onto www.nrf.ac.za. That's the National Research Foundation. There are opportunities also available with Maersk, MSC, any shipping company, any logistics company. If they are seriously interested in skills development, they are willing and able to invest in your skills development and send you for a full-time master's program. So please don't think that Triple M is a new thing. Shipping has been going on since forever, like really forever. And this is one of the industries where people are behind the scenes. So they're not loud and proud. You never see them because they're always busy, because time waits for no man. You know, the supply chain never sleeps. But these things have been happening as we speak. Logistics companies, freight forwarders, third-party logisticians, and of course all the shipping companies, whether they're from Norway, from Germany, from Greece, they will invest in you if you write them a letter and say, this has been launched, this makes good business sense, the return on investment will be amazing. Last week I sat in a consultation with Theatre. They were looking at the skills development for the next year to fund, and they were just explaining that sometimes, for instance, if you have Maersk or MSC asking in Cape Town for hospitality students, how do you finance the first aid qualification? They would fall, that would fall for people in the cruise industry, it would fall under the theatre for hospitality industry. But if you are interested in theatre for transport and maritime, all of these things overlap. So please don't think in a box. The true empowerment is when you can ask the question and ask the question and ask the question until you get the answer. And what we are focusing on in our program is really not to be victims anymore. Knowing the history that we have, and we say, oh, we're in the south of Africa, who knows if people will stop here, if the wind blows a certain direction, ships actually bypass us. No more of that, okay? It's time for change, it's time for empowerment, it's time for us to be able to solve the problems, not just complain about the problems. So enough of that from me. Don't hand me any more things if you don't want me to speak. Now we're going overseas, and I'm so sorry for Professor Portia Global. We always do this to her because she's still waiting for the sun to come up. She's sitting in the USA on the Atlantic coast. So we would just like to ask if she's online already and if she can share her screen. Oh, so bona, Sisi.
Sanibona, Annie. Thank you for having me.
Since you are well and truly professional, I know you are coming to see us on the 8th of June, more or less, for World Oceans Day. You're coming to South Africa. But for now, just do your thing. Do your thing and take us away and tell us about the way the waves are moving from your side of the ocean. Thank you, Portia. It's all over to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, wonderful, esteemed colleagues, students, persons interested in this launch. Please give me 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize for that. Usually my son is sleeping at this time, but today he decided to attend the conference as well. Okay, so I hope that I look reasonable at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, as an academic, you just think, you know, you're gonna be all about academics, but no, nowadays you have to be prepared to be on screen, you know, so yeah. I am so excited by the partnerships, the launch of the M, and I cannot wait to discuss the trajectory of international maritime business, looking at the South African perspective and the global perspective. I have prepared a presentation which I'm going to be sharing with you, and I am so delighted by the questions that are coming up online in the chat that I'm seeing, and I see them being addressed, and it's just really excellent. The speakers before me, so inspirational. I feel like I'm in the room with people who understand my passion, and hopefully this passion can have the vehicles it takes, and M is one of those vehicles to take our strategies forward and to make sure that they happen. Okay, so to begin my presentation, I'm going to upload it right now, share my screen. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, so I wanted to discuss today basically the national and global role that maritime education has to play in the future of what is happening in the maritime space. The most important thing I would like to discuss before I continue with my presentation is the idea that so we have all these wonderful qualifications, these schools that are doing cutting edge work. What are you doing, Dr. Ndlovu, overseas, flying the flag over there? What is the whole purpose of that? What is the issue? And I would like to say, when it comes to the maritime space, I have always recognized that it is a global situation where the writing is on the wall. There is going to be interaction with the rest of the world. So this means that our beautiful country down here in the southern parts of the ocean is not operating in isolation. If you look at, for example, the post here by the CEO of Saldanha Bay Industrial Development, Ms. Kashifa Bierkes, you probably have met her before even I have, but she says, hey, let's look at being a more export-orientated economy in South Africa. It's not that we do not export, it's that we need to grow that so that we can actually find and make products within ourselves, within our nation, that will actually earn us more instead of being more of a raw material world. So this means that there has to be a lot of partnerships and a lot of input from other industries to make that happen. And it also means that the education that we are giving to our students and even the leaders ourselves is sufficient to make that possible. And she talks about building foundations. And I cannot think of a better foundation than this Triple M, for example, as one of the methods of making this possible. I am so proud of the Ocean Sciences campus and what the Ocean Sciences is achieving. And this just really shows the commitment of the Nelson Mandela Graduate School of Business in making sure that we become that economy that we dream about. Okay, so an exports-orientated economy, as you can see here, I have a wonderful picture of our well, that's not really our ports, but you know, it's our world, the world of shipping. And what you can see here is that exports in products in general goods, the containers would generally have a list of general goods that can be containerized. It does mean that they probably usually have been beneficiated or manufactured or further added value to, which means that we can usually, not always, make more out of a finished product than, you know, a basic commodity that still needs to be beneficiated somewhere else. So part of providing a management course ladies and gentlemen, I really apologize for this two-person act that we are having here. Right, so when we look at the exportation of highly valuable goods that we have beneficiated, it means that we can actually employ more people, and a management qualification means that we are producing project managers. We are producing people who can bring money-making ideas to fruition. And then they can make sure that they create that value chain to make sure that those products can go out there and be sold for that much, so that the net export increases for South Africa. That will also address what we are all concerned about, which is that Operation Phakisa focus of making sure that there is job creation, sustainability, and that unemployment issue that needs to be addressed in South Africa, which I am personally dealing with. I have just employed a young South African to come and help me with a few things when I get over there in South Africa. And this young man is brilliant. You can see that he's willing to work, but it's a question of opportunities. And I have decided that I am going to mentor this young man, make sure that I teach him how to do proper accounting, financial reports, and all of that. And every single task that I have tasked him to do, he has been able to produce. This also does mean that I need to have sufficient capital to be able to employ him and train him. But that's just on an individual basis. But what the school is doing with the Triple M is that we are, as we've heard from the numbers from Dr. Hadi, we have so many people that we can strategically train at a high level, at a greater mass scale, which means they are going to impact even more people and probably even train even more people. And that's the whole idea of education. And as long as we are doing that, we are in a great space. So I am not going to open this hyperlink here, but this hyperlink provides a wonderful observatory of economic complexity of South Africa. It is updated on a regular basis, and you will see, for example, all the data and the stats of what we export, what we import, and what our import and export per capita looks like. And at the moment, it looks like as soon as we export something, we import it again. It's not that we don't export, but it's that we are almost breaking even when we should be making profit on our exports, seeing that we are such a rich nation. If you look at the resources that we are able to trade in, we should be able to make more out of that. But so what is the problem? And that means that we need to focus more on management courses, which will make sure that those contracts that we are trying to put together can be able to be executed. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for making me feel better about my presentation this morning. Okay. So moving along, I'm looking at what our typical students will look like. There'll be hopefully a diverse group of students, because it is time for South Africa to stand up. I love what Dr. Fraser has said, that it's not the time for us to be, an afterthought. It's not a time for us to be in the background. We have so much ocean at our access in South Africa, and we need to make sure that our people, young and old, management, and people who just need to brush up on their management skills, are able to have a qualification to be able to participate with the supply chain that is all going around. South Africa has such an important role, and we need to, in this course, make sure that we give our management people the strategies to be able to also know what it means to be a leader of a team in the maritime space, and knowing when to collaborate, because knowing when to collaborate in the maritime space is something that happens all the time. It is an ongoing thing. I always said from the beginning of my lecturing that, because I was very fortunate to be able to be mentored while teaching, I was able to be working in the maritime space. And one of the first things I noticed is that I cannot teach without involving industry. And I have seen coming to America that is the model. And I see that is the model for the M Nelson Mandela School as well. Industry, stakeholders, partnerships, they are just beautiful. And they are highly supported by the campus management. And I just find that something that we should continue to put in our students, to make it a core value. Some people, sometimes when you leave a nation to go and work in another nation and kind of be an expatriate, to put it in those terms, it appears that you are doing the whole typical brain drain thing, where you are taking out skills and you are taking out contribution that could have come into the country. And I've always said this, in the case of, obviously everyone has a right to go and work wherever they want. I'm not here to judge that or to defend my own decision, but I did want to explain to people that when I came to America, I came inspired by the global collaboration that South Africa has as a partner to all the other nations, as a partner to America. I did not go to North Korea, for example. I came to America. Why? Because I saw it as an opportunity for African scholarship to partner with the leading nations, see what they've done. Because I have come to realize that sometimes it's good to know when to collaborate, when to see what other nations have done, because they have made some of those mistakes. The reason they are so great today is because of the terrible hardships that they have had to overcome. And so that was my desire coming into the US, is to make sure that I also don't leave my heritage behind, but I make sure that I deepen those bilateral relationships and global connections, because South Africa does contribute very strongly. We have a strong national scale maritime growth that we are trying to achieve. We have a global input. A lot of nations are dependent on what we are providing as a resource. We have, I apologize for that error there, but that's human resource. We have exceptional human resource, a whole youth. Some people, it may appear that we have high crime rates, violence, and all of that negative stuff, but there are still good people that actually really want to work. They don't want to be scam artists They are just looking for that manager that has the plan, that has the idea, and they want to be trained, they want to be part of it, and they want to turn their families around. We have local economies to think about. And so we want to make sure that the managers that come out of this Triple M are able to develop people and are able to be legacy minded. You know, with every book I write, with every publication I make, I'm thinking legacy, legacy, legacy. I'm thinking pedagogy, strategy, make sure that in the future, those things that have worked, that we've learned globally, that we've learned by partnering with other nations, with stakeholders, industry, that we are able to pass that on, and that it can even be used and improved on better and better all the time. We want to make sure that our management students are able to come on board. I mean, I just loved the Chancellor's Office presentation, because they talked about being able to work within new technologies and engaging with the world without fear. And one of the ways to take away fear is knowledge. I remember when I was younger, I decided to go back to school to study more on the maritime world. Why? Because I realized that there are sometimes moments where in the room, I am intelligent just like everybody else who is in that room. I've passed whatever qualification that needs to be passed, but sometimes I'd find myself almost holding back from what I needed to say, because holding back and being on the sideline. Sometimes it's because you lack knowledge. It's because you're not given the tools. It's because you don't even know that there are trainings and standards and things that you can meet. Sometimes it's because you don't know that you can partner with people that are experts at a particular thing, and therefore that can make it happen for you, whatever idea you want to achieve. So we want to make sure that we create that comfort for our management students to be able to say, what are the best practices? There's the International Standards Organizations that sets out benchmarks for sustainability, for the standards for safety in the sciences, in the STEM world, science, technology, mathematics, and all of that. And we want to make sure the arts are involved as well, the humanities, because without design, without interpretation of taking ideas and making them happen and making them appeal and have the sort of industrial psychology background to it, while all making sure that it fits within the management space and project management, achieving goals, managing budgets, making sure that students have all of those skills so that that can happen. So if our business can move forward from this perspective, it would be great. I've mentioned Pretoria here because we also want to make sure that we train our managers to be able to get the government to buy into what their problem-solving strategies are and how the managers want to solve crises. So we want this degree to make sure that it answers the difficult questions, or at least, as Dr. Fraser said, the people have confidence to ask questions because the solutions are there and they can be implemented, but they need to be asked. Like, there has to be a platform for these questions to be asked so that there could be those questions that are addressed. Well, another thing is, of course, we want to train people that are not only aware of the problem. Okay, there's load shedding. Okay, there's energy shortages. We do have an issue in South Africa of establishing our energy independence. That's another project. That's funding that could be channeled in the right places. So we need to make sure we encourage that team of managers that will be able to solve these problems, because we really need it, and it can only be done in unity, which is why I love the way that women on this campus that are in leadership are are making sure that they are representing all the needs and desires and strategies of the college. And wherever you see women leading, it is a pride to the genders in society. It's a pride to all the genders in society, because it means that men have allowed that to happen, have supported that, that men have decided to submit their skills, their power to make sure that the leader, because a leader is as strong as the followers. So thank you for all the genders in the nation in unity, all the skin tones in the nation in unity, coming together to make sure that our leaders are able to do what they need to do. And so I'm just very proud of that. Last but not least, I am so proud that the M is housed under the sciences and humanities. There's always a need for interdisciplinary collaboration, of course, and we're constantly going to see that in this course. And I just want to emphasize the need for us to continue to invest in analytics and make sure that we have data and we have numbers, and we are always checking our work against what is on the ground statistically, because numbers don't lie. You know, 1 + 1, if the formula is correct, it should be 2. Oh, okay, we're not, oh goodness, wait, he's doing my math now. The idea is that we want to make sure that we can keep a record of how successful we are. One of the wonderful speakers today talked about we constantly review our qualifications to see if they still address the problems, and that can come through analytics. So I'm hoping that we can do that. To finish off, I just want to say that the maritime space has so many areas where goods and services and new innovative problem-solving strategies need to be achieved. And this is where jobs will come in. And this is why education is so important. And I definitely believe that this degree, academically, through research, through courses that, the wonderful courses that have been designed, which have been a pleasure to be a part of, are making sure that they are exposing the managers to the best partnership with the sciences to make sure that data and research is put together so that answers can come, so that we can see those developments take place. As I finish my presentation, I would just like to mention that this means that in the classroom, as faculty, we are going to have to be very open to methods of making sure that our students are challenged, that our students are able to achieve these goals, that our projects, the projects that we bring to them are related to real life. So the classroom is going to have to bring in industry, problem solving, case studies. And through case studies, we go beyond just theoretical teaching, and we start getting into experimental as well as results-oriented education. So if I believe that this course is going to have that, and I believe that this is why it's going to be such a powerful qualification. One of the questions that I saw in the chat that was asked is, does this mean only maritime people should take this course? I honestly believe that business management, the position of South Africa in the nation and around the globe, is so important. And I believe that even if a student does not eventually end up serving in the capacity of the supply chain in any way, or truly going maritime specific, just having this management and being able to develop your project management skills within the maritime space, it will strengthen you for other business as well. So I believe that if a student wants to explore this course, that will not be wasted energy. You can still, and the student will still be able to apply that in any other sector, because the principles of management stay the same. It's just that this course is a 2-in-1 because it's business and then it's maritime, which is a very niche area. So thank goodness for this qualification coming through, because it is going to expand and strengthen the knowledge base of the nation to be able to do what they need to do. So I would like to end my presentation there. It has been a little bit intense for me this morning. I'm normally a little bit more relaxed, but I was very concerned about the background noise, and I hope it wasn't too disturbing for everybody else. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Prof. Ndlovu. For those of you who I forgot to mention, she's actually a legal eagle. She's looking at the commercial side of the maritime industry, like who's liable when the container accidentally falls off the ship. So that's what her specialty is. And then, of course, she's passionate about development from even the youngsters, because she came to visit our cadets as well when she was in town. So they sound happy, Portia. They're happy children, happy sounds. So it was a good soundtrack, because it reminds us of when we were young and when we dreamed to have become an aviator, or I think I'm dreaming now of Nelson Mandela's ship, you know, the flagship standing out there, cruises every Friday, sundowners, watching the sunsets. Learn to swim, learn to sail, learn to get your shipping license. All I know at this point is that if you are having a real emergency, use channel 16 on VHF, then National Sea Rescue Institute will help you out. So just importantly for you to have also context, Professor Ndlovu is actually from KZN. So we are working together with DUT and the University of KZN. Also from the Western Province side, Seaport has been involved with our engineers from the maritime marine engineering perspective. So we are united. There was another question. If I'm stuck in Gauteng, what will I do? How can I get involved with this program? We have a good case study that one of our MBA students who became a captain worked from where there was no sea at all. Okay, he was recruited by the Maersk company. He went straight from school, and he became a cadet, and he learned the job on the line until to the level of being a captain. I think he was in our city as tugboat pilot. That's Tsepo, Captain Tsepo, some point. He's left us now to go to Cape Town as well, but you know, ways of change, things happen. So it is possible from the supply chain perspective. I know Gauteng has got the dry dock facilities. Most of the companies involved in maritime shipping have their head offices sitting in Gauteng. So just go knock on the door and tell them you are needing the smell of this ocean and get involved. And then also from Indian Ocean Rim Association, we've been talking a lot about in Africa, the inland lakes, how the transport of goods from Lake Tanganyika to actually get to port. So we're including rivers and lakes and freshwater perspective also. It's not just about salt water. So all of this falls into the scope of intermodal transport and actually making sure that your goods get exchanged for foreign exchange in order to boost the GDP of any economy and the region, of course. So last but not least, from the Western Province, who then went to Gauteng and then we re-imported it back down here into Port Elizabeth. Dr. Sam February, he is the head of department of the Nelson Mandela Business School, and he will do our closure and vote of thanks. And my good people from occupational health and safety, please wait until he's finished and then you use the galleyways, okay, to go and get your snacks again. So I've just been paused by my boss here, who says that she would like to play the part of the video that hasn't been played. Okay, so if you can have a seat for 2 seconds. See, I have to report. No? Okay, Antia, it's up to you.
The shipping industry is very interesting. It's one that brings different challenges. On at different days, you'll have different challenges. And it can get frustrating at times, especially for where we are. We get a lot of weather challenges and all that. But in terms of the actual work, it's the interesting part is that not every ship is the same. Each one will come with different dynamics, different challenges, pose the different problems for you to solve and try and get that ship in and out as fast as possible. So it's definitely an interesting environment and an exciting environment. And then in the context of the country, it's obviously big for the economy of the country, seeing that Transnet is basically the entry and exit point into the country for importing, exporting, and one of our major functions, which is transshipping. So it's definitely a key element to the South African economy. For me, the two areas that stand out there would be the commercial law part, because I think that's the area where I would like to gain more knowledge in, especially in the environment that we are in, and then also the strategic management part, because that is one of my core functions, is strategy development and implementation, and to gain more knowledge and qualification in that area would definitely be a benefit for me. What we've seen now with the COVID is that we need to be flexible in the solutions that we come up with, especially taking into consideration how many people work from home and how it was done. I think it was for us at TPT, I think it was very successful because the business did not stand still at all. People were set up at home, people worked from home, and it didn't take away from the quality of output that there was. So in that, flexibility is very key. But with the new world of work, technology plays a big part. So there's a lot of automation and artificial intelligence, and that's the direction that the world is moving into. And I think that is where we might lack a little bit, where we need to bridge that gap, because South Africa as a country, we're still very labor intensive, and the world has moved more towards a technological environment where a lot of things are automated and things like that. So I think we need to find solutions that does not hamper our labor policies and stuff, but also keeps us up with where the world is going, the direction of the technological advancements and all that.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? I want to zoom into before I give a vote of thanks, I want to zoom into the value and impact of the Master of Maritime Management. And I'm going to base this on a number of keywords that came through from various speakers this morning, and some very good input from them. And one of the first areas that I want to touch on is the introduction of new management skills from a maritime sector perspective that also touches on leadership skills within that sector. The other keywords that came through was around sustainability, opportunities within that. Job creation came through quite strongly. And what I'm really highlighting is the value or the contribution of what this program will bring to us as a community. The opportunity for local and international relationships came through very strongly. And that touches on opportunities for collaboration with various stakeholders overseas or internationally, as well as locally. What I am truly excited about is the research opportunities within this. I think from a business school perspective, and not just from our perspective, I think there are great opportunities that we can leverage from a research perspective. The last on the video that came up just now, there was reference made to technology. And we are all impacted by the fourth industrial revolution and the volumes of data that keeps on increasing. You know, and within this course, there is a key component around the information management elements, you know, and I think this will contribute greatly to more research from a technology perspective, as the industry itself is impacted by technology or the evolution thereof. One of the speakers made an interesting contribution, and he referred to the relevance of the qualification. And from a business school perspective, you know, there is a big plus on our side, where we try to remain relevant in terms of what we offer to the public. And there is just some key highlights, which I believe identifies or highlights the strength of the Master of Maritime Management degree. I want to move on to the gratitude side of my speech this morning. But before I do that, I want to start off with a quote from Nelson Mandela. And I'm going to focus a lot on the human aspect that went into this qualification since 2016. And for me, it's very important. You know, what we go through behind the scenes as people is often overlooked. And I'm going to start off by saying that it always seems impossible until it is done. So I wasn't there in 2016, and Dr. Hardy, Dr. Fraser, I'm not sure what you guys were thinking at the time. But I have another quote for you at the end. But I think, you know, I think it is a very relevant quote. And a lot of our MBA students, they start on this journey as well. You know, that quote is so relevant. I want to move on to thanking all the speakers that prepared and who shared their knowledge with us, and not just the speakers, but all the attendees from faculty, from the wider university. We are very grateful to have you guys here this morning. It is a momentous occasion for us. A lot of work has gone into it, and we are grateful to have you guys on board. And we are really looking forward to creating bigger relationships with you guys. You guys are our main stakeholders. So we are looking forward to engaging with you further on a lot of other matters. I then want to move on to Prof. Lloyd and Prof. May. I would like to thank you on behalf of the business school for all the support that you are providing to us. And we are looking forward to a different business school. Thank you for the support. We appreciate that. To all our graduate school academics, you guys have been fundamental in supporting Dr. Fraser and Dr. Hardy in developing this program. I wasn't here for most part of it, but from what I've picked up, a lot of input from our professors, from our senior managers have gone into the development or putting together of this Master of Maritime Management. So I would like to acknowledge all the academics within the graduate school. Thank you. Also, our coordinators office, Jess and Luella, they're not here this morning, but they've also given fundamental input into the overall development of this program. So I enjoy running marathons. But when I get to 36 kilometers, then I want to go home. You know, then I'm just thinking, why am I doing this? You know, what value is there in it for me? But you know what, 2 months later, I'm at the 36-kilometer mark again. And I think the last 2 months, we reached the 36-kilometer mark with this Maritime, with this program. And I'm going to mention these names, and I think it's absolutely important. You know, when you follow the emails, when people start putting these things together, and you follow the emails, and everybody just wants to give up at 36 kilometers. But somehow we managed to pull through to 42.2 kilometers this morning. And we should be very grateful. Terence, Leanne, Deshni, Dan is not here this morning, Jenny, Akona, Ruan, Sonwabile, Tasha. I think you guys, the last couple of weeks, have been instrumental in getting all of us here today. You know, and we are very grateful for that. If it hadn't been for your efforts, we wouldn't be sitting here, I promise you that. So guys, thank you so much, and we appreciate all your efforts. I want to thank two parties in particular, the Business Women Association for their inputs and for their contributions to the session this morning. I would also like to thank the International Office for the gift packs. So thank you for that. We appreciate that. I want to recognize Dr. Hardy and Dr. Fraser for the effort that they've put into putting this program together. I think so I'm not sure if it seemed impossible, but however we look at it now, it's done. But I have a surprise for you, Nomta, don't laugh yet. Guys, I think, you know, we start journeys in life, and it's important that we finish those journeys. Journeys are hard, they are tough. And I think this is one of those journeys that were completed, although this is just the beginning. So Dr. Fraser and Dr. Hardy, we acknowledge the effort that you guys have put into this, driving this, and thank you so much for what you've done and where we are still going. I have two quotes that I want to close out on. The first one is probably a bit more positive. The second one may have a bit of a negative inclination. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. There is also a Nelson Mandela quote. But then the one that I want to end up with, Dr. Hardy, Dr. Fraser, this is for you. After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. Right? We are going live with the Maritime Management in 2023. We're excited about it. It poses its own challenges, but we are ready. And we trust that the university, that the faculty, that we will be supported on this journey. And I am certainly looking forward to it. So again, Dr. Hardy, Dr. Fraser, thank you so much. And everyone else who played a role in getting us to this place today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Selfie. I think we're on schedule. Whoever needs to catch a ship, you know, to board the ship and make sure that it's loaded and ready to roll. Like I said, if you follow the two alleyways, I'm sure you'll have some expressions again outside. If you have any complaints, Nomta, Dr. Hardy, if you need money, it's your evening. And if you need to sponsor, we're working on it. But we'll be reviewing all of the comments from the virtual platform. And if you need to find us online, you can just Google us and then find us online. But send your inquiries or your proposal ideas directly to us so that we can have time to respond and reflect and working on the partnership together. So we're actually part of one ocean. All the oceans are linked. And I'm hoping that your ship comes in. Okay. So thank you very much for all your support and your continued support. And thank you for being here.